Interesting story from the Sunshine State, none other than Florida, who are moving funding that was meant for electric vehicles over to alternative fuel sources. This is a move that very much could interest a lot of people not happy with how much money is being funneled into EVs, but Florida looks like it's going a slightly different way. While still trying to help the environment, it is not really going to impact people's daily lives in a negative way. But what exactly are they going to do, and is this the right move from Florida? Well, let's have a look, guys, here on the channel as always. So nearly $41 million of Florida funding is still left over from a federal mitigation fund to, quote, replace diesel emission sources with cleaner technology, but it will not be used for any more electric buses or electrical vehicle charging points, according to a draft proposal from the state's Department of Environmental Protection. Instead, the agency's pitch is for Florida to use the money to fuel freight trucks with alternative energy sources such as new diesel and compressed natural gas. So instead of having to make more EVs for the road, they are going to get some existing infrastructure in the form of those 18-wheelers and give them better fuel, more fuel efficient fuel, more fuel that is going to be more environmentally friendly effectively. So this is an interesting proposal, to say the least. The draft proposal seeks to shift plans for Florida's remaining funds from civil settlements, which were reached in 2016 and 17 between Volkswagen and the EPA. Of course, we know about what happened with VW back in the day, good old Dieselgate, long old story. I'll probably do a video that goes more in depth with that at some point, but essentially they cheated regulations when it came to emissions, and in the United States, for example, that went against the Federal Clean Air Act. VW sold nearly 600,000 diesel motor vehicles with devices designed to cheat the federal emissions test for nitrogen oxides, according to this settlement. To offset excess nitrogen oxide emissions from those vehicles with trick defeat devices, as they were known, VW paid nearly $3 billion into a mitigation trust fund for projects to replace diesel emission sources with cleaner technology. States receive payouts from that mitigation fund based on how many trick vehicles were registered in each state, according to the EPA. That meant that Florida got in total $166 million, and so far most of it has either been spent on or assigned to electric school and transit bus projects. Across the state, 133 electric school buses and 38 electric transit buses funded by the VW settlement money are in operation so far, according to the Department of Environmental Protection. However, there is still $41 million left to spend, just under a quarter of the original amount. And if this proposal moves forward, it won't go towards any electric bus programs, nor any EV charging infrastructure as well. Now, the reasons for this are as follows, according to the draft. Quote, a range of factors, including ongoing electric vehicle and equipment supply challenges, shifts in federal incentive structures, of course, the EV tax credit being probably the biggest one of the lot there, and the state's interest in completing its obligations under the final trust agreement as expeditiously as possible. End quote. And you needn't look any further than South Florida for the challenges of running electric vehicle fleets. For example, in Miami-Dade and Broward, they spent over $120 million to purchase 117 electric buses and build charging infrastructure stations for the now clean green fleet. It was a forward-thinking solution intended to save South Florida money and cut back on fossil fuel emissions. But unsurprisingly, this was plagued by major issues. Earlier this year, for example, reporting by the Miami Herald found that in Miami-Dade, depending on the day, only 5 to 7 of the country's 69, not nice, EV buses are in service. In Broward as well, none of the 42 EV buses managed to run the routes earlier this month. It's not a great look. So yeah, interesting stuff, guys. Is this the right move from Florida? Well, given the fact that they have invested so much of this money into electric vehicle programs and it's not really working as intended, I think it's quite a clever move, actually, to go and do something different, you know? Give it another shot, because if you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, that is the very different. Because at the end of the day, if you keep doing the same things and expecting different results, that is the very definition of insanity. So at least Florida is trying to do something different. But get your thoughts in the comments below as always, guys. I want to hear what you have to say as always. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always, guys, and we'll see you very soon. Have a great day in the world today. Have a good one.